Time to travel way east now to Central Queensland and Hughendon to be exact, where they're staging a camel endurance race, and from where the two Tims report.
From the Gulf country, we spent a few great days and nights on our way inland, enjoying real outback Australia again. This part of Queensland, the scenery is just sensational. However, at the end of this long, dusty drive was a town that, well, we just couldn't pass by. Well, after driving 2 days through the desert from Karumba on the Gulf, we've made our way to Hughendon, a small country town. And what a trip it's been. It's certainly quite strange to even see people again. Hey, mate. Hang on, what's that? Looks like camels to me.
Alright, well it turns out these guys plan on riding their camels 120 kilometres in a 2-day endurance race right here in Hughendon. And just like that, in this small country town in the middle of Queensland, we were off to check out what this endurance race was all about. And believe me, it wasn't only the visitors and locals that were excited about this gathering. The camels too were putting on a real smile for the camera.
Camels are a bit different, you know. They're a bit of an unusual animal. We're the only country in the world with feral camels, and we as a nation should do more with camels. The idea of it came from the Middle East when I was there last year from one of the Sheikh Khalifa's vets. He said, why don't you put it on an endurance race in Australia and we'll all come out and have a look at it. So it was born from that. We came back, we searched for a place to do it. We came up with the idea of Hughendon. It's a nice little town, you know. It's a little outback town in the middle of nowhere. It looks pretty. The river system here is great.
This, Australia's first camel endurance race to be held at Hughendon, will see 11 competitors race both each other and the clock over a total of 118 kilometres. It'll be a true test of skill and courage for both camel and competitor. And with $50,000 in prize money, these entrants are definitely going to give it their all. First, the camels need to be numbered, and then a vet check required.
What we're doing is a pre-race veterinary check to make sure everything's healthy. Check their resting heart rate. Just checking temperature.
Once all is healthy, it's then off to the start line. Psych up and jump on. We had already picked our favourite. This one was just so in the zone. And in true camel style, they were off and racing.
The rules and regulations are fairly basic. It's a 7.4 kilometre loop up and down the Flinders River, which basically is easy to watch. They get timed in and timed out. If they come through and they need a vet check, they have to stop. You get a 10-minute window to bring your heart rate back under 65 BPMs. Every 7.4 k's, if you want a break, you've got a 10-minute break. Otherwise, you can keep going through. Sometimes it's better to let the animal flow when it's in the swing of things a little bit.
Great place, everyone's friendly here. We waited a long time for this. We follow the race circuit, like we've been doing it 18 years or so. This is the longest race we've done.
Yeah, it's pretty hard going, running when the camel doesn't want to move anymore. But it's great fun. You've got to do something crazy once in a while.
You get out on your own, they kind of get lost, you know. It's good if you can get a bit of cover. Oh yeah, they're not silly. No, they're a smart animal. People don't give them credit sort of for what they're really worth, you know.
Oh, they're ugly, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's pretty slow going. I think I prefer a horse.
Well, it certainly is a funny sight to see these lanky creatures cruising through the tiny town of Hughendon. But the fact of the matter is, these creatures could not be better suited for this arid environment. It was camels that helped open up Australia's vast and desolate interior, and they're still used on expeditions today through environments where simply no other vehicle or creature would survive.
The camels have an incredible history in this country, and I don't think many Aussies sort of understand how important they were for opening up the outback. About 1860, 1870, they brought the first camels into Australia, and they brought them in with the Afghans, well, Afghans, Pakistani handlers. They were used on a lot of expeditions, you know, Burke and Wills, Sturt, they all used camels. And then they were used to cart stores out to cattle stations and sheep stations, and also to pick up the wool. And that went on from, you know, 1880 to sort of the 1920s when the car superseded the camel. So they've had a big history in this country.
So, with all this newfound knowledge about the camels, no boys, that's a dinosaur, it was time to head around the corner and give it a go for ourselves. Lucky we found camel expert Ian to show us the ropes.
Just hang on 2 hands, straight there.
On the back?
Yep, straight over. Hanging on.
Whoa, hey, yo! That was quicker than I thought. And away we are. So what's his name?
Whatever.
Whatever.
I'll give you the reins and I'll let you go.
The guy just kind of steers just like a horse, you know, you pull one direction.
Yep, just very gentle steering, very gentle.
And while we probably wouldn't qualify to enter the second day of the endurance race, it would still be pretty fun to take one of these things home. I think Tim was convinced it could fit in the van, although I'm not too sure Ian would be too cool about that one.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably time we got back to the race course to see how the jockeys are going.
Well, it's getting down to crunch time here. The race is in its final laps and both jockeys and camels are physically exhausted. They have galloped, walked, run, kicked and sweated it out for over 16 hours now and are on the home straight. Come on, guys.
And the winner is John Richardson.
Look, mate, it's a hard race, 120 kilometres, 2 days. How do you feel it's over?
We leave the two Tims and their camels. Next episode, their great Queensland road trip takes them east to the coast and celebrations at the Hamilton Island Race Week.